I'm Katie, your safety trainer, and today we're going to talk about something that's easy to overlook but really important: climbing safely using the 3 points of contact. You know, anytime we're moving between different levels, whether it's climbing up or down a ladder, a truck, or any other working surface, there's a real risk of getting hurt. Sometimes those injuries can be pretty serious, even fatal, depending on the height and situation. But here's the good news. We can reduce that risk by sticking to a simple practice called 3 points of contact. In this video, we're going to go over exactly what that means, the types of surfaces where it applies, the kinds of injuries that can happen when fall hazards aren't properly managed, and some practical tips for staying safe while using the 3 points of contact. So what exactly is 3 points of contact? Well, think about it this way. Our bodies come equipped with 4 limbs, 2 arms, and 2 legs. When we say use 3 points of contact, it simply means that at any given moment, you should have either 2 arms and 1 foot, or 2 feet and 1 hand in contact with a solid surface. This keeps you balanced and stable as you move. Your free limb is there to help guide your movement, whether you're climbing up or down. It's a simple technique, but it makes a big difference in keeping you safe while you're working at different heights. Enjoying this safety video? There's more where that came from on Got Safety Lite. Sign up for free and gain access to our library of over 1,800 safety videos. If we don't have the lesson you're looking for, we'll make it at no cost. Click the link to sign up today. There are a lot of different surfaces and types of equipment where using 3 points of contact is essential. Depending on where you work, you're likely to encounter many of these regularly. For instance, climbing in and out of semi-trucks, trailers, or delivery vehicles is a common situation where you should be mindful of keeping those 3 points of contact. The same goes for ladders, stairs, and all sorts of heavy equipment like forklifts, excavators, backhoes, and bulldozers. It's also important to remember this when you're dealing with emergency vehicles, like fire trucks or ambulances, and even tractors or scissor lifts. And don't forget aerial devices, such as cherry pickers or boom lifts, where maintaining 3 points of contact is just as crucial for your safety. No matter the surface, the idea remains the same. Keep yourself stable and reduce the risk of falls. Whenever we're climbing down from one surface to another, there's always a risk of falling, and falls can lead to a wide range of injuries. These can be minor, like bruises or cuts, but they can also be more serious. We're talking about back and neck injuries, sprains, broken bones, and even hip fractures. In the worst cases, falls can result in traumatic brain injuries or damage to internal organs. The severity of a fall, whether it's fatal or not, depends on a lot of different factors, like the height of the fall, the surface you land on, and what kind of protective measures are in place. That's why it's so important to stay mindful of your surroundings and always use safe practices like the 3 points of contact to reduce the chances of these injuries happening in the first place. Before you start using the 3 points of contact, there are a few things you should take care of to ensure your safety. First off, make sure you're wearing the right footwear for the job and the environment you're in. Take a quick look to see if your shoes have any mud, grease, or signs of wear and tear. If they're dirty, clean them following your company's procedures, and if they're worn out or damaged, report it to your supervisor. Climbing with damaged footwear is a big no-go. Next, make sure your clothing fits properly. Loose or torn clothes can easily get caught on something while you're climbing, which could lead to a fall or other injuries. Stick with close-fitting clothes that won't get in your way. It's also a good idea to check your hands before you start climbing. Make sure they're dry and clean, as any slippery substances could cause you to lose your grip. If needed, wash and dry your hands. If you're going to be using a ladder, double check that it's set up on a stable, solid surface. For more detailed guidance on ladders, you can always refer to our ladders lesson. Inspect any handrails or handholds you're planning to use. If you notice any signs of wear or damage, report them immediately. And don't climb on any surfaces or equipment that have damaged handrails or handholds. It's just not worth the risk. Take a moment to inspect the steps, rungs, or any surfaces where your feet will be. Look for anything that could make them slippery, like wet spots or any obstructions, wear, or damage. If you find any dirt or obstacles, clean them off or remove them according to your company's guidelines. Make sure that whatever you clear away is properly stored or disposed of as well. And remember, if you notice any damage, report it to your supervisor right away. Avoid stepping on damaged surfaces. It's just not safe. If you're entering or exiting a vehicle, check that it's parked on a suitable surface that follows both the manufacturer's recommendations and your company's policies. Lastly, if you're going to be moving tools or other objects between surfaces, make sure you've figured out how you're going to transport them safely. For instance, if you're climbing up a ladder to reach a roof, you'll want to have a tool belt or a bucket and rope on hand to bring your tools with you without compromising your safety. It's all about thinking ahead and being prepared to avoid any unnecessary risks. When you're using the 3 points of contact, there are a few things to keep in mind to ensure you're doing it safely. First, always make sure you're climbing on stationary equipment or vehicles. Never try to climb something that's moving. As you climb, face the correct direction. For example, when getting in or out of a vehicle, always face the cab. Use only the handrails or handholds that the manufacturer provides or recommends, and never try to climb using tires or any other parts of the equipment. Before you start, make sure you've got a solid grip and footing. Your balance is everything here, so take your time. Also, don't carry anything while you're climbing. Remember, your free hand or foot is there to help you stay stable and move safely. If you've got tools or objects to move, handle them separately. It's also important to take your time, especially when the weather isn't ideal. Rushing can lead to a fall, so climb carefully and pay close attention to where you're stepping. Only break your 3 points of contact once you've reached the ground, a stable platform, or the cab of the vehicle. And whatever you do, don't jump down to a lower surface. Always climb down the right way to avoid unnecessary risks. To wrap things up, there are plenty of times when you'll need to climb up or down a ladder, vehicle, or equipment to get to where you need to be. But remember, improper climbing can lead to injuries, especially from falls. That's why using the 3 points of contact is so important. It's a simple but effective way to minimize your chances of falling. If you have any questions about how to use the 3 points of contact on your specific job site or with the equipment you're working with, don't hesitate to reach out to your supervisor for clarification. That's all for today's video. If you found this helpful, check us out on social media for more safety tips. And remember, stay safe out there. Before you start using the 3 points of contact, there are a few things you should take care of to ensure, oh, I said it right, dang it. Take care of to first ensure safety. Before you start using the 3 points of contact, there are a few things you should wash some steam there. Sorry. That was my bad. Whoops. Next, make sure your clothing fits properly. Loose. You're totally good. Stay safe out there. I'm getting out of here. I'm hopping on my truck, heading into my cab.